talking about church by mobile. And for those of you that, I don't know if you're pastors or elders, or I know you're affiliated with churches, this company, Church by Mobile, started about less than 2 years ago. It started as a technology and has become more of a ministry. In today's day and age, with communications, not just, it used to be everything by, telephone and fax machines and mail, and now we have email, and now everything's progressed to where we do texting. And, I'm, as I said yesterday, I'm in my early 60s, and a few years ago, I said, I'm not going to text. I said, if they want to talk to me, they can talk to me.
That's right.
And, but it's kind of like one of those things you kind of have to get with the times. And the thing is, when it comes to spreading the word, you got to use what tools are out there that are available.
That's right.
To reach all ages, whether they be people that are with the the boomers that will not get old gracefully, or it be that next generation down below that are kind of judging and still kind of waiting to see what's going to happen with the boomers. And then there's the generation down below that, who's really into technology. I mean, Debbie and I have 6 grandchildren. And 3 of them are 4 that are under 4. And to hear our 4-year-old grandson talk about, where's my iPad? Or when we got picked up from the airport from Michael and his wife and their 1-year-old. And as 1-year-olds can be a little bit moody, especially at 11 o'clock at night. And my wife took out the iPad and put on whatever thing that even the 1-year-olds know about.
That's right.
That all of a sudden was smiling and pushing the buttons. You know what? We have to embrace technology. It's no different than what I know you're going to hear from Locust. You're going to hear about the fact that how many people now are using the computer to quickly get around the Bible, or to see where some verse ties in with this and that. It's a part of what's out there. And as Christians, we need to make it work for us in spreading the word, in saving souls, and leading people to God. And, normally we're the last ones to get it. And when you look at when this technology came out there, it was expensive. It's kind of like the first computer that came out. I can remember the first personal computer that came out in the latter 70s. It was IBM, and it was $10,000. And I kept it until the early 90s. I said, because for $10,000, my wife said, Leo, you need to get rid of it. It ain't worth anything. Matter of fact, I couldn't even get $25 for it. I had to pay somebody to haul it off. And so, but when you look at the way the technology is evolving, and you look at what's going on in the Christian environment, it's only been the big mega churches that have been able to take advantage of the technology first. And you know what? It's only been the bigger churches that have been able to do websites. Now everybody can do websites, but you know what though? It's been like the wild, wild west out there, and there's a lot of companies, a lot of people in the secular world that are preying on the church environment. That's saying it's going to cost you this and it's going to cost you that, and the fact is to get it. This is the new computer. When we first introduced this, we saw other people that were in the same space that didn't even have all the things. It was like an a la carte. It was like going to a restaurant and saying, if you want this, it's $1.99. But you're going to need this, you better add another $200. Yep. And then you're going to have this, it's another $50.
That's right.
And then you want to communicate to other people, it's another $59.95. And by the time it was all said and done, we saw churches that were spending $3,000 just to get into the space, that thought they were getting a good deal. And then there was spending another $1,000 a month to be able to use the technology. And so they were one of the first ones to get into the environment. But you know what? When we saw this stuff, we said, you know what? This is made for all churches. There's over 360,000 churches in this country. I don't even know what it is globally. But the fact is that I believe that every church needs to have the same advantages as the big church. The emerging churches need to have the same advantage, and we prayed on this thing, and being entrepreneurs, we put it in God's hands. And for a guy that didn't text 4 years ago, now we have affiliates with over 300 and some churches that are over 600,000 text messages are going out a month. That is reaching thousands of people, not just in this country, but also in England and in Canada. And soon we'll be in some other areas, and we know that the Holy Spirit has got his hands on this thing, because the fact is that what has happened with it, and the church, we're seeing churches that are calling us. I mean, we used to be a vendor. We would get a table, we would set up. That lasted the first time, and ever since then, it's grown to where now we go in and we teach churches this. All over the country, we teach this about technology. We teach about why it's so important in Christianity and spreading the word today. And that's why we're here. Because all this technology, and I've got a PowerPoint that I'm kind of drifting from, but I got, I may be the head, but here's the neck. Okay? And the fact that kind of keeps me on point, and I'm gonna go down a few slides. But basically, when you look at it, churches right now are spending a lot of money just doing email blasts. Anybody here do email blasts? You anybody get email blasts that you don't even look at?
Mm-hmm.